What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa. He is the first player I'm going to be talking about for the 2022 NFL draft class. Obviously, he was going to be someone where I was going to be taking a look at pretty quickly. Not only does Miami need offensive linemen, but I personally love watching offensive line. And I already knew he was amazing. And you guys have been hitting me up, like asking my opinions of him already, so I wanted to kind of get him out the way right away. And it was a lot of fun watching this film. So he's 6'3", and about 290 pounds. So that is one thing. I wouldn't mind him getting a little bit bigger once he gets to the league, and I have no doubts that he will. Maybe try to get a little bit closer to that 300 mark. Who knows? Even by the combine, he might even hit that mark. But I would like to see him get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. He doesn't necessarily get beat with power very much, but at the NFL level, you're going to be dealing with some bigger people, so I wouldn't mind him gaining a little bit of weight. But regardless, even without that, he is a very, very good player. And he's not really... he can be put into a power run scheme, but he is much better for zone. He is very athletic. He moves very, very well. He climbs to the next level and blocks people very well. He gets his hands on you really consistently. Very good effort. He communicates well. He handles gap exchanges very well. He's very good at combo blocking with people. If no one is coming through his gap, he's also very good at looking for work and helping out the guard. He's very good for that. He's pretty good at scoop blocking for zone and power run. And like I said, he is a little bit on the smaller side, but his technique kind of makes up for it because, like I said, he is good about getting his hands inside. His feet are good. But also, he's got a really good anchor with his hips, and his knee bend is really good, which helps make up for that lack of size. And he has a really good base as well. He keeps his feet relatively parallel to his shoulders. So that really helps with that lack of size when he is up against a more powerful opponent, which is very important, especially if you're going to be on the interior of the offensive line, where you're going to be dealing with those 330-pound nose tackles and shit. You're going to need that on a regular basis. Like I said, his hands are solid as hell. He's very good about getting his hands inside. And if he doesn't get his hands inside initially, he doesn't just give up and just accept that he's got to have his arms outside or however the hell he gets his hands on him. He will continue to fight with his hands until he gets a better hold of you. So that's something I really like. He seems to be a very smart player. He picks up blitzes pretty well in the passing game as well as the run. So that's something I'm a big fan of too. As far as his technique goes, it's pretty good for the most part. Like I said, his feet are good usually. But he does have a tendency to cross his feet, especially in pass blocking a little bit. It's not something he does super often, but I have seen him do that, and it is a little bit concerning. That can throw you off balance and end up with you on your back, and that's an easy sack for the defender. So try to work that out a little bit. I did notice that. But overall, I think he is a very, very good player. And it's kind of why I wanted him to be the first person I did a video on for this draft class, because I think he's very worthy of that pick. And definitely somebody I want the Dolphins to look at come April, especially with how bad our offensive line is. He is mostly a center, and I would keep him at center. I don't want him playing guard necessarily because, like I said, guard is where you really want your stronger people, for at least in my opinion. Because guards more often end up in one-on-one situations with defensive tackles. Where, if it's the center, if a nose tackle, let's say you're playing Tampa and Vita Vea, because that's who the Dolphins are about to play this week as of recording this. Let's say Vita Vea is coming through your gap. He's fucking 350 pounds and strong as an ox. If you know you're dealing with that, either one of your guards can come and help you. But the tackle's got to deal with the edge rusher. So, if you're a guard and you got to go up against Ndamukong Suh, who's just as strong, you're kind of fucked. You just kind of have to handle that on your own. That's just kind of the situations you're kind of forced with at guard. So I don't really want him playing that. I do think with his footwork and his hand placement, as well as his awareness and stuff, in a pinch, I actually think he could move out the tackle pretty well. I don't necessarily want to do that. I think he should just stay at center. I think that's where he's at his best. But, you know, I think if you're in like a situation where you lose a couple tackles, and maybe you feel more confident in your backup center than you do some of the backup tackles you have, and you want to move him to tackle, that makes sense to me. Think about it almost like, let's say that he was in last year's draft class, or actually he was a rookie in the NFL last year, and he was with, like, let's say Dallas, where they had Joe Looney, who's a decent backup center, for them. And they had all those injuries on the offensive line, right? They lost, Tyron Smith, Leo Collins. They even lost Brandon Knight, and they were down to like their third string tackles. But you still have Joe Looney at center, who you feel relatively okay with. I think in a situation like that, I think you could move Tyler Linderbaum to tackle and put Joe Looney at center, and you'd be relatively fine. I don't really want, like I said, I don't really want him playing guard too much. He probably could in a pinch. But at tackle, I think he would be fine with his feet and hands. But center, I think, is the clear pick, because he also seems to be a very good leader as well. Everything I've been hearing from him, it just really points to that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.